Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney. How are you today, Brains? You're back at the spot, the place, the location, where the conversation is pointed and the guests are sharp, the responses are never dull. Today we have Maureen Mo Cooper. We like to call her Mo because she brings Mo to the situation. I'm so proud of her. She looks fantastic. That is somewhere that I aspire to be. And I am going to be taking some notes. So I hope all of you are taking notes as well as to how we can be our best physical self. But it starts with our emotions. What about that emotional eating? What about that epigenetic trauma that we've been through? What about the breakup of the relationship? What about self-love? We have to look at all of these different components, put them together in a big container, shake them up, and spill them out and see where they land. So Mo is going to help us with that and a whole lot more. Welcome all the way from Texas. How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be here. I get super pumped up being able to share with women of the world how to take control of their health and wellness and watch them light up. It's the most satisfying work I've ever done,
Well,
for
I'm
sure.
watching you light up like the stars in the sky. You were on a big national television interview yesterday talking about that. Your skin is radiant. You're smiling. You got these beautiful shoulders and arms. I'm just, you're living your best life right now, Queen.
I really am. What's awesome is that I'm not a unicorn. Like everybody can feel amazing if you just know how to shape your day, your mind, your body, your soul. So it's all connected, like time, how we spend our time, but how we spend our time depends on how we perceive things, our mindset. So that's really where weight loss and like long-term health begins is I would say between the ear balls. It's less about what's going on between the belt loops and more about what's going up here in the old ticker. So
You know what? And I'm going to banter back and forth with you on that because I'm in a good space up in here.
that's
This
great.
down here is it's just not working. Now I am 63 years old, proud to say.
Yeah.
And what I find is consistency.
Yes. Yeah.
That is, and when you say time, that goes with consistency. So
Yes.
I have mapped out what I'm going to do. I've got to get up. I've got an hourglass
Right on.
that I sit at my computer for so long, and then I get up and I have to move it. The hardest part of exercise is putting on your tennis shoes and
Right.
finding other things to do. So again, you have encouraged me. I have these weights
Yes.
now
Perfect.
that I put on my ankles. I have
Yeah.
a bike peddler up under my desk. I have an extra exercise ball where, because I had to show you all my toys.
That's awesome. I love it.
Exercise ball, because
Yes.
a lot of times people think that it's, oh, okay, I gotta go to the gym, and nobody
No.
wants to be next to that skinny bitch with the makeup on that's a size 4.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be next to her.
She survives off of TikToks and cigarettes, I'm sure. Like she is not living a healthy lifestyle. And that's the biggest thing is oftentimes when people look unhealthy, like if they're like a bigger, it's not about size. So if you're a bigger person, that does not mean you're unhealthy. And if you're tiny, that doesn't mean you are. So it's really about what's going on underneath. But you make such a great point about consistency because
Oh,
sitting is the new smoking.
yes, yes.
And all these Zoom calls and working from home, we are sitting so much more. And there are so many things related cardiovascular issues,
Yes.
diabetes, heart issues, because of we're sitting so much. So I have a track in my office, a walking
Ooh,
pad. So
ooh,
if I'm looking at social media, I got to be on the walking pad.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm editing, I'm bike pedaling.
Yeah.
I'm doing something. I read a great book, Atomic Habits,
Yes. It's
and
right there. It's on my book
they
list.
do that, and
Yeah.
I got rid of a bad habit, but I incorporate two good habits at the
Yes.
same times, and you can do it. But the motivation is the
Hmm.
mindset. People
Yeah.
want to lose weight for others. They want to lose it for their spouse. They want to lose it, but they forget about themselves. What is really important to self?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to go I mean, I have a very strong spiritual connection to my creator
Okay?
and I take it very seriously. And I believe I've been given this temple in which to live. I've been bestowed this body, as have we all. We're just, spiritual beings having a physical experience. And this when you honor your body, like it says in the Bible, we are meant to shine. We are children of God. So,
Mhm.
and I don't mean to take a religious turn, but
You know what? And that's what I hope people start doing more so. We've
yes,
turned away from God.
yes, agreed,
Okay?
agreed.
We've
And
turned away
you
from God, spirituality, all of that. This again is a gift.
Yes, it's all a gift. And so for me, I honor my creator by honoring myself, my physical being, my mental, my emotional, and spiritual being. And it's based on what we consume. It's what we consume in our bodies, it's what we consume in our minds. It's being at peace. I mean, peace is the word. And so, what I encourage people, and I have these stickers and I give them out to everyone that says, I freaking love me. And
Oh, I gotta get one. I'll send you
yes,
my mailing address.
yes, I'll send you my sparkly ones, which I don't have any left right now. But yes, because when you start loving yourself, we love our spouses, we love our children, we love our community, our church members, our people at work. We love them. We bestow love upon them all the time, and yet we feel like we're not in that lineup. We're not in that category.
Oh,
And let me tell you, it was a moment. I was living in Florida. It was during the pandemic. My daughter and I were there. I was going through a divorce. And I walked out one morning and I looked at the kitchen, which was all set up and ready for me, um, done by me the night before. And I thought, yeah, this is what I would do for a loved one. I am my most precious loved one.
that's right.
Because when I start loving me and taking care of me, I am a better partner. I am a better mother. I am a better friend. I am a better all around, a better, child of God, and I'm a better community member. And so we underestimate how we treat ourselves and I was talking to someone the other day. We were talking about like having an abusive past, like when we've been hurt. I've been hurt. So many people have been hurt, and we carry this pain, this wound around, and it often comes up with, stress eating, not understanding like protection. Having extra weight can be from protecting yourself. And the thing is, the abuser is long gone, and we have taken up the role of abuse and we don't even know it. We don't even realize we're doing it to ourselves until you start looking in the mirror and saying like, "No, I love you and I'm
Mhm.
going to treat you like a most precious loved one." Because that's
Well,
what
that had become your new normal
yes.
at
Yes.
that point, and you got comfortable with it. And there was one thing that you said that I wanted to tap in on is being grateful and loving yourself. I know there's this hill on the other side of me that is a booger. I mean, straight up. And
Yeah.
I got down it okay. And I turned around and I looked and I said, now I got to climb this hill to get back home.
Yeah.
But then I said, you know what, April, look at the people that can't even climb out of bed.
Mm.
Look at the people that can't take themselves to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Look at the people that can't eat or
Hmm.
eat too much. So,
Yes.
all of these things you need to take into consider as you're walking up that hill.
Yes. Amen.
Baby, when I got to the top of that hill, I did a little holy dance. I sure did. I was bouncing up and down. I was happy because I had made it. And then I rewarded myself with a
Yeah.
pat on the back and a big, tall glass of ice water.
Nice.
You're a big fan of hydration.
I am. I know. Like I've got this goes with me everywhere.
Now,
It's my
is that
24
just
ounce.
what kind of water? Is it water?
It's reverse osmosis water. It's just regular water. And if you drink reverse osmosis water, which is purified water, you need to remineralize it with a pinch of sea salt or like a Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt to remineralize it. I
Okay.
was diagnosed with arthritis by my doctor.
Mm,
There's a rabbit hole we could go down.
mm,
Told me I had arthritis. And
mm,
I was not happy about this. I was 45 years old. I was like, "Are you kidding me? I don't have arthritis." So he said, you could take this medication or you could have a cortisone shot, which destroys your cartilage, or or you can just see how it goes. And so I said, I'm going to see it because my ankles kept locking out. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm listening to Darren Olean's Super Life book, and he has a whole chapter on water. And I'm driving down, I'm in Florida, I'm driving down the strip, and I hear him say, if you drink reverse osmosis water, you need to remineralize it. Otherwise, you will have stiffening and cramping in your joints. I
mm,
was like, what? So I started mineralizing my water because all I drank was reverse osmosis water.
mm.
And miracle of miracles, my arthritis was cured. Like it wasn't
Wow.
arthritis, I was mineral deficient.
Wow.
So there's
But that's what I've been doing too. I've been taking collagen. So
oh
this, I
yeah.
don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure
Yeah.
the brand. Let me put a finger over the brand. But this is not reverse osmosis. This is
Yeah.
alkaline water with electrolytes. Is this good water?
That's good water, and it's mineralized. I'd have to read the ingredients, but
Okay.
yeah, it's mineralized. So you want those minerals, and that's the only drawback of reverse osmosis water because we have a lot of contaminants in our water, even if it's filtered, purified, like by the regular filtering. Because there's everything. People's medications go into the water. I mean, and then it can only pull out so much. So, am I bougie when it comes to water? Yes, I am.
Get
But
your
I
bouge
want
on. Get your bouge.
what's that?
I
Get
said,
my
get
boots
your
on.
bouge on. I love it. Get your bouge on.
Yes. But I wanted to say about doctors know a lot about when you get sick. The what more doctors I want to see leaning towards is health care, not sick care. Like so real health care. They don't know a lot about nutrition. They don't learn about a lot of that in medical school. And you'll have doctors say, "I learned about it." And I'm like, "Okay, that's great. You did. That's awesome. And are you applying it in are you saying you could have arthritis or maybe you're mineral deficient?"
Mhm.
Like, but as the pharmacist said to me, he's like, mineral deficiency doesn't pay the bills.
That's right, because sick people are big business. And
Absolutely. So
that's what they want to do. And I don't think they want to keep us sick. I don't want to say that. They want us to be well. However, providing us options and alternatives outside of big pharma.
yes,
And the
exactly,
food is killing us, Mo.
girl. When you go to Europe, when you go to Europe,
Can't wait.
see a marked difference
Ooh,
in the food.
anywhere, anywhere. I went to Thai. It was funny. We were in Thailand,
Oh yeah.
and we were walking down the street. It was a tour of us, and there was a bunch of other people, and they, ooh, look at them chickens. I'm not eating that chicken. I'm not. I said, you know what? I said, check this out. Look at the chicken. That is a fresh kill. That
Yeah.
chicken is white. When
Yeah.
you go into the grocery store, it's yellow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not the same thing. I grabbed a peach, and so much juice jumped out of that peach, and the flavor
Mm.
of the peach was unbelievable. The
Mm-hmm.
tomatoes have a smell. We are mass producing the
Yeah.
food. And
Mm-hmm.
we're going through a lot here in the United States, and we're not going to get into that. But what I am saying is this might be an opportunity for us to go back to gardening. I've
Yeah.
got herbs out there. I've got tomatoes. I've got bell peppers. I taste my tomatoes. It's wonderful. I go
Oh,
buy
yeah.
a tomato. It's no taste. It's no flavor.
And you're outside and you're getting vitamin D.
Mm.
And you're getting fresh air, hopefully, depending on where you live. But you're getting, you're not stuck inside. So going back to empowering women on their weight loss journey, a lot of it is not your fault because there's so many myths, so much misinformation out there about being healthy. And I'm telling you, when you start just doing simple things in your lifestyle, like you were saying, like getting movement at your desk, if you're going to have to be at your desk, little things like that, like making sure I love the hourglass. I want to get me one for sure. I love that because I love visual
Yeah,
things. So
I'm
that's
telling you,
awesome.
it has changed things because I
Yeah.
look at it and I'm like, oh, Your time has run out. You've been here 30 minutes and you have not realized it. Time to get up, time to move, whatever
Yes.
you're going to do. But weight training, talk to us about that. Again, um,
Yes.
at 60 years old, I don't think cardio is really what I need to be doing.
No woman over the age of 40 needs to be up and on cardio. Cardio has a place. Walking has a place. I went for a big old walk this morning. It was awesome. I got out, I got my blood flowing, all that. That's amazing. But your hormones, they're out to get you at a certain
Mhm.
age. And
Mm.
it's just natural. I mean, menopause and aging, it's the most natural thing in the world. I'm 54 years old, y'all. I am in the throes of menopause. But let me tell you, I do not have hot flashes. I do not have night sweats unless I drink a Cabernet right before bed. I don't
Right,
recommend.
right.
That's just, or meat sweats. But I don't have all these stereotypical things you equate to menopause, and there's a reason for that. First of all, I don't eat a lot of processed food. I drink my water, and I do resistance training. So resistance training includes you can do body weight exercises, you can use bands, anything that resists gravity. So anytime that you have to pull or push against gravity, that is resistance training. We have a 76-year-old that goes to our boot camp 3 mornings a week, and she is amazing. And she's in such great shape and she started late in life. But she decided, no, I want to keep up with my grandkids. I want to be vital. I want to feel amazing every day. So find a spot for you because it stabilizes your hormones. It's it releases endorphins. It makes you a happier person. I used to be on two forms of medication, one for anxiety and one for depression before I had my last child. And then I had her, gained all the weight, gained 65 pounds.
Oh,
And
wow.
I know. And so, but I've kept it off for 15 years, which is awesome. Just doing simple things. But a part of that weekly is I work out 3 hours a week, 3 days a week. That's it. And including warm up and cool down, it's really more like 40 minutes of
Right,
exercise.
right,
3 times a
right.
week. That's it.
And
That
it
is it.
feels so good. I'm telling you, when I sit here sometimes and I don't, I give myself little stars.
Yeah.
I reward myself.
Yes, that's a great
And
reward.
if I don't give myself a star that day, I'm like kind of sad. But when I go out and that fresh air is something about the fresh air
Yeah.
that makes you feel revitalized. Your mind is clear.
Yeah.
You do a brain dump. You get
Yeah.
out there and you're listening to some good music. You're
Yes.
looking at what's going on in the neighborhood. You're seeing a cute little dog, cute little kid, a crazy neighbor, whatever it is. But it's an exciting, like you said, the endorphins start to fire in your
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when I was going through the menopause, but there wasn't no pause, honey, it was going full throttle.
Hmm.
That there was a lot going on, but
Yeah.
I kept a food journal. And
That's really
that was the best thing I could have ever done. If I
yeah.
had a glass of wine, if I had a carbonated soda, if I had some sugar,
Yeah.
how long was it before my body started to react after
Yeah.
I had taken that particular thing?
Yes.
What was I doing? Night sweats.
Yeah.
It and the hot flashes are no joke.
No,
They
oh yeah.
from
I
the
forgot about
top.
the hot
They go
flashes.
from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And
Yeah.
you be talking to somebody thinking you're all cute, and then all up under your nose starts to sweat. There's nothing cute about that. And then your face,
No.
forehead starts to sweat. And then you start getting cranky and evil
Yeah.
and going off on people.
Yeah.
It's a whole change. But people have to understand that as being a woman, there are metamorphoses to change.
Absolutely.
You have
Absolutely.
to go through these cycles, but how we treat ourselves, how we nurture ourselves, what we are aware of, and what we have the ability to change.
Yes. And the biggest thing that you mentioned, resistant training, the resistance in our mind.
Mm.
So in our brains, stress is a major factor in when women tell me that they carry all the weight around their bellies. Because we want the junk in the trunk, right? We want to be pear shaped. We want to have that big old
Mm-hmm.
luscious food. booty, which I think is fantastic. And I've been working on it for 54 years and I'm still working on it. But because mine was all around the belly when I had the extra weight, I was also living a very stressed out life. And what happens is when we are stressed, we are now in fight or flight mode. We are not resting. We're not digesting. We are fight or flight. We're the Duke's up. Like, I'm ready for anything. The body, that is a natural response. All of our hormones, cortisol, epinephrine, all these hormones are meant to function in our bodies. We're meant to have these. But when we're stressed and we're in a constant state of fight or flight, where we're just, your body, you're not giving your body a rest. So it is not digesting. It is storing every calorie that comes in as fat because it wants to be ready for a fight. So the biggest part of helping women is to get out of their head because when that amygdala, that lizard brain is constantly, you're being reactive all the time, especially in, like you said, during these, tumultuous times. People are just on high alert all the time, and it's just adding in and dis-ease. It's creating dis-ease in the body. And what is
Right.
dis-ease? Disease. And
Absolutely.
so we're like Jedi mind tricks, y'all. We are creating illness in our body just by the way we're thinking. So things like reminding ourselves to get up and move, taking breaks, having like going out and going for a walk, like you said, those are pattern interrupters. So we don't spiral, we don't ruminate, we
Right.
don't get sucked into that stress cycle. So all these little things, they all add up. And if you can keep your stress level in check, that is going to serve you so well. I just started reading a book. Now, I listen to books on Audible all the time, but
Mhm.
I just started reading a book, like physically taking time, 10 minutes every day. I carve out 10 minutes if I read a little more, and I can feel myself relaxing. I get away from my desk, I go sit downstairs in the big comfy chair, and I relax. And you want to catch yourself feeling like, oh my God, I'm really feeling anxious right now. And that's totally normal. And then you say, yeah, I'm anxious because I got to get kids from school and I also have to pay this bill and I have to talk to my husband about that thing. And so you have all these things. You recognize how you're feeling as the noticing, and then you normalize it because that's the normalizing part is like, okay, I've got all these things on my plate. And then you neutralize it. What's actually happening? Take out the emotions. Let's go get down into a calm space where you can think clearly. Breathing helps that. And say, okay, I'll talk to my husband then. I'll pay this bill. No, and I'll do this while I'm waiting in line for the kids.
Right.
And then that's the next best step. So that's something I teach my clients is how to get yourself out of that fight or flight, that reactive
Right. Right. Right.
space and into that rest and digest. That's where the
I
that's where
also
the
look at what you eliminate. Okay.
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about elimination on
Yes.
how weight is actually leaves the body.
Yeah.
It's not always sweat. A lot
No.
of times it's by breathing.
Yes.
Um, your urination, your defecation. You have
Hmm.
to pay attention to that. So many women don't defecate every day. They don't. And if
It's
they
a conflict.
do, you got to clear the house out. What
Yeah.
you have to understand is that you're rotting inside.
Yes.
You are literally rotting inside.
Yeah.
So I juice.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I when I go through my vegetable bin
Yeah.
2 days before it's time to take the trash out for the week.
Yeah.
I will juice up the tomatoes. I'll even throw,
Ah,
if there's mushrooms in there, if there's spinach
yeah.
in there, throw a
Yeah.
couple of apples in there. I don't come up with all of these great recipes. I wish I did. But just the fact that I am getting the pure essence of
Yeah.
that particular fruit. And
Yeah.
then the pulp that comes from that, I
Mhm.
put a little, uh, can't think of what I want to do. See, brain fog.
Pulp. You
But
put
I
what do you
put
do with the
yeah,
pulp?
no, I take the pulp, but I
Yeah.
also put some chicken broth or some beef broth
Oh
and
yeah.
just kind of let that stew. And I'll
Okay.
drink that in a couple days. I don't waste these things.
No.
And
And
it's
this,
so important for your body.
yes. Those minerals, definitely. And when you're talking about how we release fat, when you're calm, your body knows what to do. That's why it's called rest and digest. So when you get your when you're you bring you the food in, the nourishment, and again, this is about a our peace comes from healthier relationships with people, our community, and our bodies,
Right.
and with food. So, I mean, I have a piece of, I'm having a piece of cake that I got from a friend a week ago, but I was doing a cleanse, so I couldn't eat it. Today's the day I can eat it, and I'm super excited. Yes,
You
that
know,
cake is really good.
I did a cleanse, and I didn't do it right. It didn't make me feel well. So again, when we talk about that, you want to work with a trained
Yes,
professional, someone like Mo, that
yeah,
can help you gradually go through it. You can't just go to the health food store and say, okay, give me a cleanse, and you've never done this before. Because what you have to do is you have to also be careful when you reintroduce food back into the
yeah,
system. I did
yeah.
a cleanse, and then when I said, oh my goodness, I haven't had meat, I went and had a steak, and good night.
Oh yeah.
It took that steak about 8 days to digest through my, and I could feel every part of it breaking
Oh
up
no.
because the body wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation. Please get some sleep. Please get
Yeah.
some sleep. That was another one of my problems. I have a large international following, so I'm up when they're up, but my
Mm,
circadian rhythm was off.
yes.
Say,
Your
oh, okay,
biorhythms are
I've had
huge.
4 hours of sleep, and then I will, get up, and then I'll have a little nap. No, you need consistent sleep because
Yeah.
that is when the body is restoring and repairing itself. A lot of people have sleep apnea
Yeah.
and they are ignoring it.
Hmm.
Understand that sleep apnea is more than snoring. You're
Oh
not
yeah.
breathing.
You're not breathing, you're not getting into deep sleep,
Right,
you're not experiencing REM sleep.
right.
There's so much happening. That's I'm getting certified next month. I've carved out the time to do SSR. It's sleep stress management and recovery.
Oh,
And
wow.
because I really want this certification because it's going to take my coaching next level. We already talk about sleep and biorhythms and how to, creating that plan for the day, even if everything goes sideways, as long as you have pillars in place, that makes all the difference. That comes back to consistency. But sleep is so huge. It's the biggest. My coach was trying to reach me on Thursday night at 10 p.m. I'm like, girl, I get up at 4:10 in the morning. You think I'm gonna be up at 10? No, I got your message at 4:10 in the morning.
Mhm.
So it's like because and like that's really extreme, but I go to boot camp at 5 so I can get it out of the way and I want to do my meditation and prayer when I get up. So that's what I choose. So I choose that and I choose to go to bed early. I'm in bed by 8 between 8:20 and 8:40. My daughter tucks me in. She's 17.
Mm,
And she comes and says goodnight to me because she's on that crazy teenager schedule.
mhm.
And
Exactly.
so, yeah, that's a huge thing. I love that you brought that up because sleep biorhythms, when we eat during the day, consistency in eating, all these things, April, we know. We know it subconsciously. We just don't know how to put it together. And that's why I love being a healthy lifestyle coach because I help people take all these random pieces of health and
Right,
then weave the practices into their everyday, but not all at once because that's when you shoot yourself in the foot because you try
right.
to do everything at once and everything just it goes well for a week and then everything crashes.
Let's
So
dial back. How did you find yourself in this space before the 65 pounds? What was your zone of genius? Like, what was your career, and what did you do?
I was a full-time mom for 13 years. And so before when I got pregnant with my second son, we decided I would stay home to be with the boys, which was awesome. And so I was just I love to light people up. I realized that I'm really good at leaving people a little better than I found them. And whether you're a friend, someone at the grocery store in the lineup, the cashier, if I see someone having a hard day, I can always tap into people's energy and I just keep it real simple. Someone asked me recently, what's your zone of genius? I'm like, my genius is being simple, like just
Mhm.
keeping things real simple and just tapping into people. So when I became a personal trainer, when I started running my own boot camp for 2.5 years, I could bring this to the forefront because we all have natural gifts and talents. And this is what I encourage my clients to discover about themselves because we don't serve anyone by trying to be somebody else. I'm no April and you're no Mo, right? And
Right,
that's
right.
because we are beautifully and wonderfully made as we are.
Well,
but it is our obligation to rise from that. So my gifts and talents, my genius is helping people see their light, to bring out their gifts and talents, to understand why they matter and what is so beautiful about them. Because most of my clients come to me and they do not think they are beautiful. And
I think that you're beautiful,
what's that?
and I think you're beautiful, and you
Uh,
recently shaved your head.
I did.
Okay, what was
Yes.
that all about?
I was bored of a hat. Like my I had the faux hawk. I don't know if you got a picture of that. I was wearing a faux hawk, so I shaved the sides. And I took a picture with my niece in Vegas a couple years ago, and it was really dark. And I had it like in a top pony because it's too humid to try and like defy gravity in the summer months in Houston. So I just grew it out. So I had the ponytail, and it looked like I didn't have anything. She goes, "You should shave your head. You'd look amazing." And then my daughter's like, "Yeah, just shave it." 'Cause she hated my hair. So I shaved it, and I shaved it for about a year and a half, and I was just
Wow.
it was so easy, and now I have to deal with
You have
product.
to deal with it. But you know what? It's a certain boldness, a courage,
You know,
because you see women that have debilitating diseases,
yes,
be it alopecia or cancer, whatever,
uh,
they lose their hair. You
yes,
are not your hair. India Irie made that very clear in that song. I am not.
yes,
And you have to love every part of your body.
yeah.
I was 24 once upon a time. I'm 63.
I
I'm
know.
not going to look the same way. There's going to be scars, there's going to be wrinkles, there's going to be dimples, there may be surgery, all of
Yeah,
that. But again, loving yourself right where you are is where it begins. It's not the outside influence, it's not the
yeah,
validation. Yeah, you're going to get the support and the encouragement from Mo and from April, but you have to look in the mirror. Just stand there butt naked like I did one day. I was amazed. and, I looked, and I was bit by a dog one time, and I looked and I said, that scar is still there,
yeah,
but I survived it. And then I look and I see the dimples in my face. I said, oh my goodness, I was, I'm still a fluffy girl, but they're still there. There are things there that you can appreciate.
yeah.
Don't have to do this. Another thing
No,
I want to touch on before we leave is that this is all the rave now. Everybody's getting these injectables.
the GLP ones.
The
I
GLP
know.
now, okay, now look, I am not going to say that they're all bad because some of
Nope.
them help with diabetes. But what you
Yes.
have to understand is that you also have to complement that. It has
Mm,
to be in concert with something else. You can't
yes.
just give yourself a jab and
Yes.
wait for it just to shrink, because then it's just going to sag. You
Yeah.
still need to work out, and
The,
you need to
yes.
balance yourself once your mind gets to the point where, oh wow, I don't need a cup and a half of pasta. I might do good with just a half a cup of pasta.
Yes.
What do you think about this, and helping people if they are using these weight loss drugs,
Yeah.
uh, supporting them also so that they can have consistency and sustainability long term?
Yes, that's such a great question because yes, it's so hot right now. It has been for a while. The problem, and like I said, I believe Big Pharma has a place. It helps us through over a hump. It helps us, to go get from faster from point A to point B. But if it's not sustainable, and what damage is it doing? So the problem with and that's why you mentioned it, GL or resistance training while taking GLP-1s is key because when you're not burning fat, you're burning muscle mass
Mm-hmm.
because you're losing weight, but you're losing muscle. I have a friend, she's a chiropractor, and these people were coming to her because she also does weight loss at her clinic, and they would come to her like losing weight, and she would feel their backs, there'd be no muscle. And that is that. So you're not losing the weight that you want to lose. So resistance training is key. Focusing on your habits. Now, I have a client who she's actually in full remission now. She was diabetic when I met her. Her blood sugar was through the roof. And now she's got one more test to do before they'll take her off her drugs. But she's on a form of GLP-1. But the real struggle is teaching her how to eat to nourish her body while on these because she's not hungry. So I want you to think about that. Food, we need food. We need nourishment. We need our bodies need energy in the form of sustenance. So when you're taking a drug that's cutting your your what's the word I'm looking for? Your cravings, your appetite, that's the word,
Mhm.
down to nothing, it's so hard to be healthy. So we actually have to schedule her eating. Like she can't eat within an hour of waking up. So she has lemon water because it's really important, ladies, that we fuel our body within 30 minutes of waking. That's a really big thing right now too. I've started doing it. I see a huge difference. Because people, when women say, I don't get hungry until noon, that's because, but now when at noon when you're eating, your body is storing it as fat because we have that blood sugar spike when we wake up, when we have that cortisol raise. See, when that cortisol comes up or raises, that's what wakes us up in the morning. So we need to eat first thing we get up. So if you can't have food, if you're on medication, lemon water is really good because it tells the body it's going to be fed. So it's like a trust exercise. So I have to teach her. So she needs to eat before she goes to the gym. Make sure she has a carb protein afterwards. Protein, protein, protein. This is not a cult. This is not this has become very
Yeah,
popular.
that's what I heard too. You gotta have the protein.
Gotta have the protein. This has always been, except our food pyramid, which is now the food plate, and it's not much better because it's not actually representing macros, which are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It's just representing food industries. So that's another story for another time. But we want proteins first, fats, and complex carbohydrates like fruits and vegetables on the side. So the thing is, so we need to nourish our body. So if you are on a GLP-1, if you're not eating, you're not nourishing your body. I want you to really think about that. I want you to think about how you're depleting your body of nutrients that you need for your brain to
Right,
run. For
right.
your my mother, and I'll finish it here. My mother was fit her whole life. She was always out walking. She'd be out there taking the dog for a drag because he couldn't keep up with her. She was at the gym when she was 75. She'd laugh at the little old lady in the back of the class and doing the chair exercises. She's like, and we were, oh my God, we crack up because she's like, that's gonna be me one day. And no, she has Alzheimer's, full-blown Alzheimer's, because she was on a low-fat diet her whole life since the 80s when low fat became a trend. They took out the sugar. No, sorry, they took out the fat, replaced it with sugar and other chemicals. And I know that ate her brain. There are studies, and that is why Alzheimer's is now called type 3 diabetes. So we need to nourish our body. So, yes, GLP-1s can definitely help you over a hump, but think about your how you're treating your body in the
Right.
meantime, like scheduling when you're going to eat, making sure you're getting protein at every meal and snack, making sure that you're getting nutrients into your body. Your body needs to be fed. I mean, it just does. And I'm going to have that cake later, and it's going to not be anything nutritious, and it's going to be delicious.
Well, it's
So,
going to be good because you
salad.
deserve it. So let's ask you a few fun questions before we conclude the interview because people always want to know.
Yes.
If you're an appliance in the kitchen, Mo, what appliance would you be?
What would I be? I would be the egg timer. Yes.
Egg timer. That's pretty cool. Protein, protein, protein.
Protein, protein, protein. Because of course, well, I eat like 3+ eggs a day, and everything for me is about time.
Okay,
Because what is the next thing most precious to our health? First health, then time
exactly.
is our most precious commodity, and we all have 24 hours in a day. So how we're spending that time. So yeah, I'm all about time. So I have this little. Oh, I don't have it. It's over on my shelf. It's a little owl egg timer that I used to
Oh,
use.
that's cute. Well, it go
Yeah.
next to my hourglass, so that's
Yeah.
fun.
I'm gonna get one of those. I love that idea. That sounds great.
What would you tell a woman that is struggling right now? You
Yeah.
know, she just doesn't have the will and the desire. How about
Hmm.
that? Not the she has the ability, but she doesn't
Yeah.
have the will and the desire to do it.
I'd say that's normal. Life is exhausting. We have so much going on around us. And I get it. I get it. I've been where you are. So I understand how it can feel like such a slog going up the mountain of life.
Right.
And I get that. So what if every once in a while you sat down, had a look around, started with gratitude? Just look at what's really good in your life. Start shifting flip that script in your mind
Mhm.
because it's so easy to get pulled into that negative cycle. I don't care. I don't want to do anything. This sucks. I've always been this way. I'm always going to be this way. And that's a really great place to start. Gratitude changes the mindset because it all starts with how you see the world, how you see yourself, how you see possibility. So the quickest bridge to changing your attitude is gratitude. I'm a poet and I wasn't aware of the fact.
I know, and I'm a poet, and I totally agree. Your gratitude is your latitude that will change your attitude. That's
I love that so much. Every morning, first thing I say, because not last, well, one of the last things I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1999.
wow.
And last time I had a relapse was in 2006.
Mm,
So I'm almost 20 years in full remission.
mm, mm, mm.
And it is directly related to how I live my life. So every morning when my little leggies swing over the side of the bed and I stand up, I say, "Thank you, God, that my legs are working."
Absolutely. If your legs wasn't working and you were a car, what kind of car would you be?
I would be a Volvo. I'm boxy, but good.
And sustainable, because Volvo will last forever. It'll get 300,000 miles on it for sure.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I love Volvos.
If you were a flower in the garden, what flower would you choose to be?
I love just a simple carnation. They're so sweet.
Mm.
They're so simple and easy to take care of. And they just bring so much beauty. And they're easy. They're just simple. I love them. I don't need to be a fancy orchid. I just want to be sweet and available to everyone.
What's your favorite kind of music?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Depends on what's going on. If I'm making dinner, it is 80s pop. Like I'm all down with everything. Michael Jackson, some Bangles, like everything. Cyndi Lauper, I'm all over it. Just banging it out. It's so fun.
How do you bring your sexy back?
Girl, that's taking care of yourself. You
Exactly.
mentioned earlier, like shaving my head. Confidence comes from taking care of your health.
Right.
Because then when you start taking care of your health, you get to know who you really are. You get to know for all the warts and all the good and all the not so good, and you love yourself anyway. And that when you love yourself and you feel confident, you feel sexy. You feel sexy in your sweatpants. You're older.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you could have a conversation with a 25-year-old Mo Cooper, what would you say to her?
Oh, for God's sakes, go back to school. And don't be so hard on yourself. And do not carry the weight of your sins through the next 20 or 20 years. It's not going to serve you and it's not going to serve anyone around you. So let it go. Learn how to work through it now versus later and go out and shine your light because the world is waiting for you.
What's your superpower?
My superpower is being simple. Like I said, it's just keeping it real simple. I actually own the domain, keepitrealsimple.com, because when we stop, I'm good at just getting rid of all the noise that doesn't serve me and cutting away all the BS and just getting to what really brings me joy. That's what my superpower, and I bring that out in others. That's my real superpower because I get to light up other people because I
Well,
shine. I give others permission to shine as well. Thank you,
a
Marianne.
rating. You are definitely radiating it. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you. I'd love for them to work with you, have a consultation with you, and follow you on social media.
Yes, timewithcoachmo.com is my calendar link. So you can go to timewithcoachmo.com and we can sit down. Sometimes I am not a hard pitch, 20 minutes. Sometimes it's all you need to get your head in the right direction. And if you need more help, then I am there for you. My clients, God, I just love what I do so much because they seeing people shine and women stepping into their own lives and really prioritizing themselves, their health is magic. So I would love for you to reach out to me for a discovery call, timewithcoachmo.com.
Brains, you know, all you got to do is put on your tennis shoes. That's the hardest part. and put one foot in front of the other. Don't
Yes.
overthink it. That's the problem. You don't
Yes.
have to have a master plan. You can have a weight ball at your desk. You can
Yep.
have some weights on your right. You can have some weights. You can have a
Kettlebell.
pillow. And also cherish your time.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mo, for being here on the edge. We value, love you, and appreciate you. We're going to be following you. I'm going to follow you because, again, I am, you know, grateful, but I'm working on it. I'm working on getting it, getting it tight, high and tight. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, but I sure do love to eat.
I do too. I do too. I'm like thinking about, I'm listening to you and thinking about what am I going to have for lunch?
Thinking about it. But again, too, portion size. We
Absolutely.
we didn't even talk about that. You're gonna have a piece of cake. You're not gonna have the whole cotton picking cake.
No, actually, I'm gonna probably get a huge slice, so I'll probably have like half of it. And it's not shameful. You got to listen to your body. If I have more than that, I'll be vibrating in sugar shock. So you got
Oh
to
my
learn
gosh.
when you learn to listen to your head will lie to you all day long. Your body does not lie.
Mm.
So like I said, when you get feel sexy and confident in your body, you're like, yeah, that's not temple worthy. I'm not putting that in my body. Then it makes things so much easier. Temple worthy is the is the phrase of the
Okay,
day.
we're gonna practice that. Okay, brains, use that at least 3 times today and see how it will stay in your heart and in your mind and around your waistline. Thank you so much, Mo, for being here on the edge. We value and appreciate you. Brains, we want you to go in and check out all the other edgy conversations. We've got everything from literally soup to nuts, finance, food, love, sexuality, uh, mental health, quantum physics. It's a whole array. You have a whole smorgasbord. I'm loving to use these food analogies of things to choose from. Fill up your plate. Thank you so much again, Mo. I appreciate you, girl.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I appreciate you so much.